Okie dokie, I believe we are all the way live. Hello and welcome to my graveyard. I am your host of the evening, the Cemetery Man from Salem, Mass. Always taking names and kicking candy ass live and living here with you tonight, only on Grande's Graveyard. And yes, ladies and gents, tonight things get real. Yes, tonight on Grande's Graveyard is the first time. It is the reality horror movie special only on the Graveyard. I'm very excited tonight because this was an idea show topic that had been batted around in my mind for quite some time. And I didn't know how many people would like this concept, would not like this concept. So I don't know how many people we'll have in the house tonight. We may have nobody. We may have a bigger crowd than usual. I don't know, to be perfectly honest. However, what I do know is that this was kind of a fun show prep week for me. I enjoyed watching these movies and scoping this out because reality television is a very unique and interesting genre of television. I mean, it really is when you look at it on paper. And I've actually in college, I remember back in the college days, just a few years ago, actually, when I was studying pro communications, I did a whole research paper on reality television and why it drew and why it became so big and why it garnered such a big, vast audience, not just here, but all over the globe, right? It seemed like reality TV took over the world in the late 1990s, bleeding into the early 2000s, right? Technology was advanced, and of course, these shows were coming around the pike. Shows like Big Brother, shows like The Real World, shows like Bret Michaels' Rock of Love, which I know maybe not a lot of people would consider that as high art as others, but I had a soft spot for Rock of Love with Bret Michaels. I always thought that was a hilariously bad show. Of course, later on, you look at the reality shows that were big when I was in like middle school, high school, would have been the Jersey Shore. That was one of the biggest shows. It was like the biggest thing for a while. People talking about Jim Tan, Laundry, all these shows that were coming around the pike, and Survivor and things like that. And every single television stations seem to want to try their stab at reality TV. Now, some did it great, some did it terrible, some did it better than others, but at the same time, monkey see, monkey do. Monkey see, monkey do. It's a Hollywood business known as monkey see, monkey do. And of course, monkey saw all these shows coming out, and somebody said, hey, wait a minute, what if we put a horror movie spin on it? What if this was the concept that we made our horror film around? And tonight, those are the movies we're going to be discussing, because we have not one, not two, but three reality TV horror movies. I want to say great, wonderful, whatever. I don't know what adjective I could use to describe these three movies, but they are three horror movies that are revolving around, of course, reality TV show as the concept. So we are going to be reviewing My Little Eye, Kolobos, and a third bonus mystery movie, which I initially was going to have Red Room. Unfortunately, could not find a rip of it, so we had to move on to something else, and that's what we're going to be doing. So I will keep you in suspense. That'll be the mystery film, will be the last film that we review. I'm willing to bet you guys can know and guess what it's going to be, but we're going to keep you in suspense on that one. But before we get into all of that, let's see what y'all have to say in the comments. We have Black Glove Reviews 1979. Hit the buttons for my guy, John, please, only. Dude, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Ciao, Grande, Graveyardian friends. Welcome, Miss C. Hope all is well with you. We got AJ Zitro. Where's our golden boy? I'm staying golden. I don't know about you, AJ Zitro. I think you're going platinum on me. What up, Grande and chat? What up, Haddonfield mascot? John's in the house. What's up, buddy? Hello, Grande and everyone else. Michelle Parsons, 4613. Hey, Michelle Parsons, I'm sure you're going to be excited about this. The first movie we're reviewing tonight was actually shot in your backyard up in Nova Scotia, Canada. So I'm very excited to get into that movie. Michelle Parsons, welcome, my friend. Well, you got James Abernathy all the way from the UK. Hello, everyone. Here, but a little bit sleepy. Hey, man, I appreciate you catching these lives. I cannot imagine how late it is in the UK right now. So, dude, thank you so much for the support as always, and I hope that you enjoy the show. I used to watch all the VH1 reality. Yeah, like, you got to keep in mind how big reality TV was. Like, it was everywhere. I mean, it was, and to this day, I mean, Johnny Knoxville hosts Fear Factor now, and they even decided to make Fear Factor like a reality television show now. Now it's not just people eating bugs and cow stomachs and innards and driving through brick walls. No, now it's Big Brother. They're in the house together. They're forming alliances and allegiances and all these things against one another. There's hot women. There's all these, like, relationships going on, and who can you trust, right? These are all these trash television tropes that reality TV kind of created. And then, of course, Monkey See, Monkey Do, they wanted to make reality into horror film fiction. And I mean, I think it's kind of a cool concept overall. I need a haircut. Well, AJ Zitro, you need a haircut, my friend. I think my hair looks luscious. I'm going to keep all the hair that I can, because I don't know, man. It's just, it ain't working out for some motherfuckers. Michelle says, Jesus Christ, place. Grande, you're making me feel old. I was working at my current job after getting 2 university degrees when you were in middle school, Jersey Shore. Wow, holy shit. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm trying to think of what the first reality show that I ever saw was, and I want to say it was something like Bret Michaels, but it might have been something like, I remember there was a show. It was called The Charm School, and it was Sharon. It was Sharon Osbourne as the host, and they would take all these trashy women and they would put them in this charm school, and basically the one that behaved the most would win the money in the show and the whole 9 yards. And I don't know, there is something so trashy but likable about the topic of reality TV, right? These people put together, and you can almost pick out, okay, I really like this person. Oh my God, I work in the office of this person. This person is the guy next in the cubicle with me. I can't stand this son of a bitch, like that type of reality, right? And I know that a lot of people, they like to bash reality television, reality cinema, whatever reality you want to say. They bash it, and they're big, all the big criticism, a big thing, a knock on it is that it's scripted. Well, it's not really real. It's scripted, Grande. How could you like something that's scripted? It's not really real, despite being presented as so. And to my rebuttal, I tell you, well, hey, I watch horror movies every fucking week. And it's something that, yeah, in the movie world, yeah, it's all real. It's presented as real, but it's fake. It's scripted. It's corn syrup. It's not real gore. Hey, wrestling, pro wrestling, they are fakers, right? They're choreographers. They're beating each other with steel chairs, jumping up the top rope. They're putting on a show. That's not real, Grande. Why would anybody like that? I love pro wrestling. I love the stories that they tell. I love that the two people have to work together to entertain us, the viewer, and tell a story, and how compelling that is. And reality TV, despite some of it being trashy, despite a lot of it being trashy, I can have that soft spot for it because it's people telling a story together to try to entertain me when I come home from work for the day. And I don't see any fault in that. I know some people do. I know some people throw their tomatoes, but in my humble opinion, there's no harm in that. And if you don't like it, change the channel. There's plenty of other channels to choose from. Ciao, Grande. Not really a fan of reality shows. There you go. But excited to hear your thoughts. Hi to the whole Graveyard chat. Mateo, my friend, hope all is well with you. We're going to have Mateo and Haddonfield Mascot on down the road this month in Grande's Graveyard. Very excited. Me and John are going to be doing an Abel Ferrara director spotlight. We're going to be discussing 3 Abel films. You guys are going to vote on the third one, and I'll be posting that on Sunday. So stay tuned for that. And then Mateo and I are actually going to be doing a actors that should have won the Academy Award show, where me and Mateo both pick 5 actors each, and then we're going to be discussing actors that we felt should have won Best Actor the year they were up or not up for an Academy Award. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Me and Mateo are going to be busting out suits for that. You're not going to want to miss that. We've got Navigating the Noise 1996. Grande, happy to be here. Zach, my friend Zach, welcome, Zach. Hope all is well with you. Zach was nice enough to reach out to me. He is actually starting his own podcast. He's about, I want to say, maybe 10 episodes or so in, and he is streaming on Twitch, and he actually asked me next week to be a guest on his channel. So I'll be on Navigating the Noise next week, next Tuesday night, live on Twitch. So Zach, if you want to share your links or anything for your channel, please do post it. Graveyardians, if you guys want to get on that, I will be there on Tuesday night talking all things with Zach. So thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We've got Tom, the Undead of Night, in the house. Hi, John. Please tell the audience about Red Rooms, or be honest, or ... Hello, chat. Welcome, Tom. Yeah, no, so unfortunately, Red Room was the movie I wanted to review. It was from 1999, the Japanese film. Couldn't find a copy online, and I unfortunately ran out of time. I was going to buy the physical media copy, and I said, you know what? I'm going to call an audible. I had this movie on the back burner. You'll see what it is towards the end. I'm sure there's somebody that already knows what it is, but that was one that unfortunately I couldn't discuss tonight. But My Little Eye and Kolobos are going to be reviewed and delivered as promised. We got Ginger Ninja all the way from Australia. G'day, mate. I hope all is well. Good day, good day. The Ginger Ninja, people saying hi to one another. Where's Cruel Summer? Oh, God, it's a cruel summer. Bradley, what's up, brother? Hope all's well with you. Watch Red Room on Tubi and prep for your show. Never heard of it before. Did you? Okay, so you probably watched the wrong Red Room, because I'm the one I'm talking about is from 1999, and it's Japanese. And there's like 8 different movies called Red Room, so I'm very sorry if I wasted your time. I feel so bad. This is the one movie I'm not going to review tonight. Thanks, Ginger. Okay, people talking about Bad Cruel World. My Bad Cruel World is the name. I'm always partial to the Surreal Life and the D-List celebrity. Oh, my God. See, I never watched the Surreal Life. I remember the D-List with Kathy Griffin. I don't know if people remember that show. It was called My Life on the D-List. and it was fucking horrible. Anything Kathy Griffin, you just immediately want to turn it off. At least I wouldn't be able to sit through it personally. But like, I don't know, there were silly ones that I always enjoy. Like, I loved, probably the best one for me is a little show. It was animated called Total Drama Island, and it was like a parody of a reality show, the parody of Survivor. I still this day think that's one of the best written shows. Just so fucking funny. Just taking knocks and shots and jabs and stuff at these reality TV. The Scream Queen ones. That's right. With Shawnee Smith was the host. It was Scream Queens, and they were all participating to get an acting job in Saw 6. That was the show. I remember that one too. That was awesome. I have two other reality horror style movies that I prefer, to Kolobos and Red Room, hoping one of them is your replacement for Red Room. I don't get your hopes up. Don't get your hopes up. Yes, sir. Looking forward to having you. Dude, thank you so much. I'm okay. Thank you. How are you? Okay. Grande and his luscious locks are making special. I am. I'll also be on Crater Mania's channel. Chris Prater is asking me to come on his show. He's, of course, has Crater Mania's channel, so you guys can go subscribe to him. I did post the community post. And then, of course, he's actually be having me on to discuss why I got into and why I love pro wrestling. So I'm going to really looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. For anyone who wants to join Grande and myself next Tuesday evening, it's going to be good vibes. Totally, man. Excited. Edward Furlong is making his own Big Brother with big handicap guy, and he kills some of the teenagers. Girl House, something like that. I've seen that too. That's a pretty brutal movie. The 2v1 wasn't Japanese. That explains why he didn't tell the audience the joke. Yeah, exactly. I feel so bad because I looked and just couldn't find it. So I was like, what the hell? But before we get into the movie reviews, before I cheers to the chat, I did want to mention something because this was some really sad news that I had heard this past week, and it really dampened my day when I heard it. It was actually Mateo that told me. We lost a fellow horror YouTuber, Cinephile World Order, aka Sean, and Sean Blue Digital was what he's previously. Obviously, I had heard the news that he had passed away, sadly, and I was really, really saddened to hear that because I know Sean was a big fan of Grande's Grave. We, in fact, had Sean on for an episode. We did one of the horror roundtables, me, Dana, Mateo, and Sean, and we all discussed horror topics on the roundtable, and it was a really nice time. And Sean was always a really nice, good, big supporter of the show. I remember one of the first people to buy a Grande's Graveyard t-shirt was Sean, and he had always had nothing but nice things to say about me, and this channel was always nothing but pleasant. So I just wanted to say rest in peace, and obviously my thoughts and prayers are with Sean and his family. I don't know, it was really heartbreaking news when I heard about that. So I just wanted to go ahead and say cheers to him and his memory tonight, because obviously he was a big Grande's Graveyard fan, and I do appreciate all the support he showed the show over the years. It was not lost on me, and may he rest in peace. So everybody, cheers to Sean. Cheers to Sean Blue, aka Cinephile World Order. May he rest in peace, and we'll get this show on the road, guys. Cheers. Okay. All right, let's do it. This week on Grande's Graveyard. I'm excited. Let's do it. Okay. First movie we're going to be discussing here tonight is a little movie that really kind of got me going when I first saw it years and years ago. And this is one I did see in high school back in the day. And of course, this is a movie that came out in the year of 2002. It was showed to me by my good friend JP. I remember around the time that's right around the time we became close friends, and we were talking about movies and stuff like that. I'm a big horror movie fan, and JP's not. JP's not into horror movies whatsoever. And he was like, "Hey man, I'm not a horror fan, but have you ever seen this little movie called My Little Eye?" And I said, "No, I've never seen it, never heard of it." And he was like, "Well, that's the one I want to watch." So we sat down one night, one dark, stormy night. We watched it, and I was effectively creeped out. And I was like, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't the greatest thing in the world, but I liked the movie. And I one day wanted to review this movie, and tonight's that night. Right now is that time. I'm talking about this little movie. I'm talking about My Little Eye. Yes, My Little Eye. We've got a brief plot synopsis. 5 young people apply to live in an isolated house together for 6 months, whilst their every move is filmed by numerous cameras. Each has their reason for wanting to be there. Fame, money, adventure. The prize? $1 million. The rules: if one person leaves, everyone loses it. It becomes the ultimate morality test. What dark secrets does this house harbor, and will anyone make it out alive? Yes, My Little Eye. Now, this was a minuscule budget movie that was made for peanuts in Nova Scotia, Canada. And I mean, you could really tell. I mean, the movie looks fairly cheap. The movie has just 7 actors that you see on screen throughout. It was made by an up and coming filmmaker that really had not splashed or done anything yet. But despite all of that, they were able to capture an atmosphere here and I think turned some heads in the horror community. And this has become over time a movie that I'd consider a big cult movie. It's sort of a cult movie that few people know about, but when they see it, it generally starts to turn heads. And I would not be out of the rule there. I mean, I was totally into this movie when I first saw it. And it basically tells the story of these 5 people, these 5 young, 20 somethings that go to this isolated house in the middle of Nova Scotia. It's the middle of wintertime, the middle of nowhere. And they all move in, and the entire movie is shot through DV cameras and CCTV footage. So the entire movie is shot like you're watching it through a security camera or watching it on, your dad's camcorder that you found or dug out of a box somewhere. The movie looks very raw and very gritty. And that adds to the whole reality element of it, right? Because in reality, we wouldn't have these wonderful, luscious HD style cameras with perfect lighting and all of these perfect shots. No, we'd have cameras hooked up all around the house. It'd be grainy. It'd be hard to see. You would hear the zoom ins on the camera when they kind of zoom in, or when you're trying to hear somebody talk when they're whispering low. These are the things and the gimmicks that they use to try to make this thing feel authentic, and it worked in spades. It's really, really good setup for a movie. And what happens is the movie starts to play with these characters and their psychologies, right? It's a great psychological horror film where each one of these people and their moralities are tested by the people that are running the show. What do I mean by that? One day they get a package in the mail and they're like, oh my God, it's probably food. It's probably water. It's probably all these great goodies, right? They get the package in the mail. They open it up and it's filled with bricks and there's no food or no water, no anything. And they get a note and the note says, hey, to one of the characters in the movie, your grandfather's passed away. The funeral is going to be held in 2 days in Florida, if you want to go and obviously pay your respects. And of course, this character gets beside himself. Oh, my grandfather raised me. I may have to leave. But the catch is, if any of them leave, they all lose the money. They'd each make $1 million each if they make the 6 months. But if any of them leave, even one, they all lose the money. They all lose the game. So they test that. There's points where this movie, of course, one of the female characters, she's in the bathroom and she's kind of, freshening up before she goes to bed. And she looks at the window and it writes "scaredy cat" on the window, written in fog. And it says "scaredy cat." And she freaks out and they're like, what is the problem? Like, what are you afraid of? Like, we don't know who wrote that, but why does that freak you out? And she tells this great story of how when she was a kid, she and her best friend from middle school, they played this game called Scaredy Cat. And each would try to scare the other to their ultimate wit until ultimately she won the game by taking his pet cat, his actual pet cat, and pretending it was in a knapsack, and she threw it in a pool when it was really just a brick. And so the kid, ran to try to save the cat. He pissed his pants in front of everybody in the school and everybody laughed at him. And it was all a joke. It wasn't really the cat in there. She never really tried to drown anything. But he, of course, got out and said, "You sick bitch," and was gotten really upset. And of course, the game is Scaredy Cat. Like, basically what happens is all of these people have the skeletons in their closets revealed as they're there, and they psychologically start to be tormented and degraded and belittled down until their ultimate breaking points are met. And I liked that concept. I thought that stuff was really, really well done overall, and I was pleasantly into all of the storytelling with this movie. And I think that, again, the look of the film, really interesting, really unique, really capitalizing on the reality shows that were coming around the pike at this time, right? Big Brother was booming at this time. So it almost felt like somebody said, hey, let's take a reality TV show idea and let's make it into a horror movie. And that's exactly what My Little Eye is. Now, this is an interesting movie on a lot of different fronts. And of course, one of the biggest is the fact that this was initially supposed to be a direct-to-DVD movie. This was not supposed to play theatrically. This was not supposed to go to theaters. And, some of these actors, you'll know them. I'll go through some of them. The big one is Chris Lemche. Chris Lemche is a Canadian acting legend. You might remember him from a Canadian classic known as Ginger Snaps. He's in Ginger Snaps. He's in Final Destination 3 as the McKinley kid, the weird emo kid. He's in that movie. So you'll know Chris Lemche from stuff. Of course, Laura Reagan is in this movie as the lead final girl, I guess. She kind of has a crazy resemblance to like Mia Farrow, like really, really crazy how much the two of them look alike. And she's, of course, she's gone on to be in like Dead Silence. She's the opening kill with Dead Silence, right? The one that's with Ryan Quanten's character. She's a really interesting actress. You have, of course, Jennifer Skye, who didn't act for too long, but was always a really pretty face. I remember her on shows like Charmed. I remember her on shows like Xena the Princess Warrior. She was on a ton of television stuff. She's in this movie. And then, of course, the big standout, a brief appearance, but the biggest name to come out of this movie, Bradley Cooper. Bradley Cooper is in this movie, of course, as a very minor role. It's basically a glorified cameo for Bradley Cooper, but this was one of his first films. He was coming out of the New York studio of acting, and this was one of the first projects he ever got and acted in. So it's really interesting to see a young Bradley Cooper in this movie. And even though it's a small appearance, it's kind of funny to say, oh shit, it's fucking Bradley Cooper. What the fuck? It's a kind of a holy shit moment. I remember the first time I watched this, it would have been like 2015. And I remember being like, Bradley Cooper, what the hell? Like, just mind blown to see him in the picture. But like I was saying, though, this was a movie that they didn't have much faith in. You don't have big name actors. You don't have a big budget. You don't have a big director. You don't have a big studio machine behind this. You're shooting it in a backyard in Nova Scotia. The thing looks, feels, sounds, tastes, smells like cheap. And that's okay. Because, listen, there were a lot of cheap horror movies at that time that were making a lot of noise, right? Listen, the Blair Witch Project people made almost $250 million, and they rented their cameras from a Circuit City. They didn't have a script some days. They had notepads telling them what to do. So, I mean, it's not to be looked at as a crazy idea that a movie like this, a small little low budget picture that's trying to base itself on the horrors of psychology in this house, that we can't make a lot of money too. And there was a lot of discussion, a lot of debate, and a lot of back and forth between will this be or will this not be a movie that plays theatrically? And ultimately, you got as bad of an omen as you could possibly get. And this is a crazy fucking story. So the first cut of My Little Eye was supposed to be 4 hours long. They were going to play a 4-hour long movie of raw footage. This fabled 4-hour cut only screened one place, one time, one day in the history of the world. That date, you may ask, September 11th, 2001. Yes, the only time that My Little Eye, the 4-hour unedited, uncut version of the movie test screen for audiences, was in Los Angeles, California on September the 11th. And you're going to be shocked by this next point. It didn't fucking go well. Of course, obviously, you're talking about the day of the biggest terrorist attack in this country's history, probably. I mean, certainly the biggest one in my lifetime. Granted, I'm thankfully too young to remember it, but, people that were there, people that experienced that, I mean, that day forever lives in infamy, and people can tell you exactly where they were when that day happened. And of course, on the flip side of that, you hear a story of this up and coming filmmaker, up and coming film. They don't know what they're going to do with it. They don't know if they could find an audience in a theater or if they're going to go direct to DVD. And the director said his career would have completely ended, no doubt about it, if this thing goes direct to video. Your test screening goes on the day of 9/11, which has got to be the worst omen in the history of omens. And then they were in limbo with it. Oh my God, where are we going to release this thing? Is it going to make any noise? Eventually, they cut it down 2.5 hours to an hour-and-a-half long movie, and they did release it theatrically. And the movie was a modest hit. It made about $9 million, and granted, had a budget of basically peanuts, like I said. But that whole element of it is just absolutely wild when you think about it, right? Like all the shit that you're up and coming and trying to figure this out, trying to prove this film, and then something like that happens. It's just like, holy fucking shit. Are we cursed? Is this a bad omen? Are we truly hexed? Is there a black cloud above this film, right? I mean, it's wild to think about when you really do put it down on paper. But My Little Eye is honestly very solid overall. And I like the movie for the most part. I would say I really enjoy the first hour of the movie a lot. It doesn't quite stick the landing, and we'll get into stuff like that. But again, I liked the whole psychological element of opening these people and the skeletons in their closet, right? Because you think of it in the word of the title itself, right? My Little Eye, the play on words, right? Of course, it's not just the knockoff on the old school I Spy with My Little Eye, the children's game, but it's in a lot of ways, I think, a look at reality television and what people subject themselves to when they sign up. Oh, that's a lot of money. That's a fuck ton of money. I'm willing to degrade myself on television. I'm ready to splash some skin on television. I'm ready to argue. I'm ready to make an ass of myself if it's all in the name of a 7-figure payday. Who wouldn't do it? I would do it. I would do it right now. Sign me up. I'll sign in blood. I'll sign in. I'll give you a lock of my. I don't give a fuck. I'll sign up. I'll do it. And that's the thing. It's not just the my little eye cameras around the house, but it's the my little eyes that are watching around the world. Right? You're basically giving up your dignity, giving up your morale in order to sell out and make money. And you're putting yourself on a platform to get poked, probed, prodded, and degraded by the people that are going to be watching this thing around the world. That's what people do. That's reality TV. That's reality 101. And that's what it is. And to me, that's what the coolest thing about this movie is. It's delving into that whole element of it. And I think that one of the best lines of the movie is one of the characters, he's laying in bed and he's just looking at the camera and he's playing with this gun that they've gotten in the mail. And he says, "I'm here for the money. What's your excuse? Got no life of your own, not real enough for you, no family of your own. I pity you, you sick fucks." I love that because it's, again, that's totally a jab at anyone that likes reality television. Like, what are you here for? Like, I have a reason. I have compensation to be looking forward to. You're here on your own free will watching me. Get a life, and I love that. I was like, oh man, that's a nice kind of subtle like jab at people that enjoy reality trash television or cinema. What? Get a life, guys. I pity you, you sick fuck. I love that. I was like, oh man, that's really cool. Basically, though, we're getting into major spoilers now. Bradley Cooper shows up at around the 40-minute mark. He shows up. He's this hiker / skier that got lost, which is, it sounds like bullshit right then and there. He shows up. He's a programmer. He says, "Oh, I've never heard of you guys." And they're kind of like looking at each other like, wait a minute, how has he never heard of us if we're on this big major reality show that's broadcast across the world? This guy's never heard of us. He's on the internet. He's a programmer. He's never heard of us. This is really odd. So he goes, has sex with Jennifer Sky, and then breaks the fourth wall. He opens up like one of the cameras and says, "I told you I could fuck her." So you know that Bradley Cooper's in on it. And then basically what happens is you learn that all of these people are not really being based on reality TV show all over the world. Instead, they're being bid on and watched by these secret private millionaires that are betting on who's going to survive and who's going to kill who and what's going to happen. And we watch as they all kind of figure this out, that they're in a snuff film, right? They're expected to kill each other off or be driven insane until they do so. And that's basically what starts to happen. One by one, they're picked off, they're victimized and whatever. And there's some twists and turns along the way that I think really diminished what otherwise is a really good movie. I liked it. Like I said, about an hour plus in, I'm with it. I'm like, oh man, this is really good. Like, let's have a big payoff, and this is a great movie. And unfortunately, like I said, doesn't stick the landing. I don't like this. Basically, you find out one of the people that were the contestants was in on it, and he's working for Bradley Cooper and this other guy. And then the movie ends where they're all picked off or locked in a room and they're watched the, suffering and stuff like that. And one of them saying like, "Oh, am I going to get big promotion for this?" And he's like, "No, we always just find 5 idiots," and they kill him off. And that's how the movie ends. Like, mwahaha, this is going to continue forever. I thought that was so lame and an otherwise really creative and innovative movie that was going for certain things and psychological comments. I was like so much for that, as opposed to the very generic, oh, it was an evil conglomerate that was behind it. That is just a couple of guys, right? It's Bradley Cooper and this other guy, Nick Manel, who you may remember in movies like the Halloween remake, Friday the 13th remake, as this phony cop. I was like, oh man, like you almost had me, like you almost had something really good. And I don't know, like I sort of feel like there may have been better going on a David Lynch way. And what do I mean by that? Maybe you should have never told what was going on. Like, I don't know if you ever needed to reveal what was happening, because again, you have the horrors of these characters second guessing themselves. Did you put this bloody hammer in my bedroom, or was it the company? And a lot of the times they're pointing the fingers at the company, but I like the aspect of it could have been you. It could have been one of you just fucking with me the whole time. That's a big thing with Blair Witch Project. A lot of people say they watch that movie and they think that Josh and Mike were fucking with Heather. Now, I don't get that at all. I've never felt that way when I watched the movie, but some people watch that and get that element out of it, and that's great. And you know why that's great? Because they never tell you what was going on. You can think that for eternity, and you cannot be wrong, because they never tell you or divulge what was going on, right? That's that's the beauty of the simplicity and not divulging what the ethic behind the horror was. Whereas with this movie, to tell me it was Bradley Cooper and to tell me that he showed up as a phony skier, fucked one of the girls, broke the fourth wall, then drove back to his little fucking hut, and then set everybody up and mwahaha, we're going to do this for all eternity because we're evil. Yes. I was like, oh man, that's so villain of the week. That's so cliche. I just like hate the ending of this movie. It's really, really good for the first hour up into that last little finale where I'm just like, it just doesn't work. I do like the ending credits. They show their audition tapes and play this really sad music as you see these bright, glowing faces, right, that have been degraded before our eyes and killed before our eyes as the movie went on. I thought that was a clever way to end it, to show them the up and coming, like, I'm excited for this, and the irony of them being excited to basically meet their own fate. That's good. That stuff's all good. It's a glass half full movie, and I really do like the movie. I think there's some good atmosphere and good horror in your horror movie. But with that being said, it also is a case old tale of we didn't stick the finale. We didn't stick that landing as good as we could have. But My Little Eye, in my opinion, is a good enough movie. I do recommend watching it. It's free on YouTube if you've never seen it before. I think it's worth a watch personally. Let's see what you'll have to say in the comments, though. We missed a lot. Where were we? I think we were here. Hey, Grande Cougar Lover 1972 is in the house. Just coming on. Sorry about your friend Sean. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Cheers to Sean. R.I.P. Sean. D to the A. Donovan Alba's in the house. What's up, buddy? Sean was one of the good ones. Always supported horror channels. Yes, he did. Yeah, Sean was. I remember one of his live streams, and I posted this when I heard the news because I remember him saying this. He had said that Granny's Graveyard was his favorite YouTube channel, and I was like, that to me, the fact that this was anyone's favorite YouTube channel like means the world to me. That is so nice of him to say that, and like I don't know, I was really saddened to hear about what had happened, and like I don't know, it just the whole thing is it's sad because it's like. You come on here every week, you interact these people every week, and whether it's a 5-minute, people stopping in, Anthony Chabot every week says hi and then leaves, and or people that stop by just to say hi and leave. That's totally fine. I have no problem with people to do that. I appreciate you even taking the 5 seconds to say hi as opposed to the hour and a half, 2 hours that we're here. The fact that every week and that he enjoyed the show, it meant a lot to me. So, and it wasn't just me. It was like Sean, Tom says, Sean was a advocator and a supporter of so many, just the community itself he supported. And like that to me meant the world. So yeah, no, it was terrible news. What's up, Grande? What's up, Donovan? Hope all's well with you, buddy. People saying hi. Lots of comments. Sean, heartbreaking. Yes, it was. That was heartbreaking news. I mean, that was terrible news. That ruined my day that day. Nova Scotia. Hell yeah, Nova Scotia represent. Reality shows always feel like documentary, like in the 1990s. One of the most popular shows on MTV was The Real World, where you have the characters in the apartment living in their apartment. Exactly. Sean Slasher Fred, welcome. That's The Real World is like one of the most popular ones. The Real World, and that's basically what this is too. I mean, it's the Real World. It's more like Big Brother, but it's the Real World too. Like I don't know what it is. If people just gravitate towards that type of television, and it's kind of amazing to see. People saying hi. Let's see. I rewatched My Little Eye when I saw your community post, and the DVD case was red to match the cover, and I was surprised to see 2 actors I recognize. Yeah, there's a few actors you're going to recognize in this for sure. I mean, obviously Bradley Cooper being the big one, but like everybody, I mean, Chris Lemche, I've seen so many fucking movies, and he's the standout here. Chris Lemche's great. Like when they find out that it's a whole snuff thing, and he's like, there's no advertisements, they can't find us. Like he's like, is this apparent? Is this real to anybody but me? Is this making sense to anyone but me? He was really, really selling it. And I like the whole way that he's kind of the smartest character. He's like, they're just fucking with us. Like, just shut up and we're going to get our money and we're going to go home. He's that guy who's trying to be the voice of reason until they step too far and people start literally dying. Then he's like, okay, fuck the money. We're going home. I like that his character has that arc of, you could sell a lot of things for money, but holy shit, like basically at this point, it's going to be death or this, and fuck the money at that point, like for sure. Trench loves ginger snaps. I love ginger snaps too. I'm a big fan of ginger snaps. One of the most known reality shows a lot of people grew up with in the 1990s that everyone remembers watching was Bad Boys. Bad Boy. Oh, Cops with Bad Boys. Okay. Yes, Lemchi is underrated. Yes, he is. Not a good day, of course. Okay. I remember September 11th. I saw it on the TV. Yeah, no, it's a day that anyone that was alive or around for it's oh God, it's terrible. I was taking new school class just a few blocks from the Twin Towers, starting after a few weeks after that. Really, screenwriting class. Yeah. I remember, I always remember the story my dad told. And that, like, that to me is like the most haunting story. And it's not even about anyone dying or anything. It was just the visual he was able to create with the story. I remember he said that he was driving to work, and he was on the bridge, and everybody just stopped their cars and got out of their cars to look. He said all you saw was the smoke and just people like this, and people crying, and like that visual to me is scarier than anything you could. And I'm sure, I mean, obviously there's more scary visuals from that particular day, but it was the scariest, probably one of the scariest things ever. I mean, people were probably afraid. And New York City, right? I mean, I'm a New Yorker, and it's the city that never sleeps. I promise you that. You go in New York City at 4 o'clock in the morning, and you would think it's 8 o'clock at night. Like, you could be walking around Times Square, whatever. There's people with selfie sticks. There's people laughing like fuck, having a good time. Like that statement of the city that never sleeps, it is true. It really does not ever sleep. But the thing you always hear is that week it did. That was the one week New York City slept because of the tragedies that happened. And it was really horrible. Thankfully, it wasn't the release day. That was the day they did the test screening, and they were really hoping for a big studio or a test audience to really engage with it, and then hopefully get more money to market it. And that was the day they picked. That was the timing of it, and it just all kind of went to hell, unfortunately. I watched it once, like 2004. Remember the good ending. Now that I know it was shot in Canada is a bonus. Okay. Oh, so you like the ending? Interesting. I'm the opposite. I like the hour, like the first hour. That's the one part of it I'm with. Grande, have you heard of the Sharon Stone / Baldwin movie, I think, called Silver, which is an apartment building with a guy spying on people's apartments? I've not seen that, no. I guess I'm due for a second watch after what you said. I'd be curious to hear anyone's thoughts if they have seen this movie. It's certainly one that I think more people should give a watch. Like, it's definitely a movie that's worth your time, I think. Cooper, the plot you signed sounds like Rear Window. Yeah, definitely has some Rear Window. Oh no, is the evil Cromwell behind? Oh no, the raps. Did you hear about the guy in Japan or some Asian country that was stuck in a room for days, live streamed as a reality show where he can only live off sweepstakes winnings? No, I've not heard of that. That's awesome. That sounds like a fun watch for sure. Anthony Chabot. It's like Joe Hendry. Say his name and he appears. I believe in Anthony Chabot. How you doing, by the way? Yes, I'm sad that Sean passed as well. I think he had to win a certain amount of prizes that added up to a certain number, and it was 24-hour live streamed. He lived only off a sweepstake winning. Really? That was very nice. Sean was very kind with that stuff. Very kind. Let's see, people talking with one another. Ben Grimm, I have this on DVD. My Little Eye. There is a special feature where you can see from different point of views. That's right, and I know in the I think Region 2 releases, you can listen to the movie, and it's Bradley Cooper and Manel going back and forth. You never hear the actors. It's just them as the two guys working for the company that are talking throughout the movie. And that's literally it's like a commentary with Bradley Cooper and Nick Manel, and they're in character. So that was a big like gimmick they did for the foreign market release, which I don't know if you get your hands on that in the States, unless obviously you have a Region 2 player and the Region 2 disc. That's the only way to watch the film that way. I would, just out of curiosity, like to watch the film that way, but at the same time, I don't know. Like, I think the movie is fine the way it is. It's just one of those where it's like, could have been so much better for me. I always like MTV Fear, where the people had challenges in haunted locations. I remember there was a horror reality show. It was called 13 Fears Real. And it was like a slasher reality show where all these people, they went to a camp, and one of them was the killer, right? In kayfabe, one of them was the killer, and like it was who could you trust, who could you not trust, and then there was points where you could steal this box that made you the new killer. It was a really clunky show. It didn't really work, but I remember that being a horror attempt at a horror reality TV show, which didn't really work the greatest. Okay, people talking. Let's see. What's Sean's channel? It was Cinephile World Order was his channel. Grande, do you listen to commentaries and special features? Yeah, I mean, I'm a big special features guy. I'm not as big on commentaries because I only have so much time to watch the film itself, so I generally try to target the film itself. But yeah, for sure. Yeah, I hear you, Kubrick. Okay, people talking. So Kolobos has some obvious influence that you will like. I have the region free player, and my little I two is region 2. Really? Holy shit! Okay, so you can watch that version of it. That's very interesting. But yes, we're gonna get into Kolobos and its obvious influences. That's what we're gonna do. But my little eye, I recommend it. I think it's glass half full movie. I like it overall. It doesn't stick the landing, but I do think it's an okay time at the movies if you're interested in this type of concept film. I think the acting is good. I think the direction, the DV cameras, the authenticity and organic nature of the movie, that stuff works. That stuff doesn't work in the movie we're going to talk about next. The movie we're going to talk about next is A Horse of a Different Color, and many different colors if you're an Dario Argento fan. This next movie, of course, from the year 1999. This was, to my knowledge, the first reality TV horror show movie that there ever was. If there's one predating it, feel free to let me know. But I believe this was the first, and unfortunately, not very good one. From 1999, this is Kolobos. Yes, Kolobos from 1999. Brief plot synopsis, if we can get the chat up here. Let's see. Okay. 5 young individuals agree to live in an isolated lodge together and have their daily activities filmed. But soon, the house is locked down and they each run into the murderous clutches of a faceless serial killer who may not be working alone. Yes, Kolobos from 1999. Now, my WWE fans, where you at? Where you at, my WWE fans? You may remember the lead girl on the cover. You may know that name at the top left corner, Amy Weber. Yes, Amy Weber is the lead final girl in this, and anyone that's WWE fan from like the 2005-ish era, you'll remember that she was a part of JBL when he was the WWE champion. She was in his cabinet. That was what the faction was called, the cabinet. And it was Orlando Jordan and JBL, and she was supposed to be like the the secretary for him, if you will. And it was Amy Weber. She was on WWE television, left the business pretty abruptly. There's a whole story where she was on a plane after training to become a wrestler because she was first just a personality. Then they wanted to make her a pro wrestler. She apparently hurt her head or something, or hurt her leg, and was on a plane, took up 3 seats, and apparently Edge and Randy Orton took exception to this, and they basically fucked around with her. Edge poured his drink on her. Randy Orton kicked the seat and said, "Fuck around, find out, bitch." All these horrible things. And apparently as soon as the plane landed, she went to Shane McMahon and quit. So that was Amy Weber's run in WWE. If anyone remembers this woman, because I immediately, when I first watched this, I was like, holy shit, the lady from WWE, like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't realize, but I should have realized because she did a lot of acting before and after this. She had been in softcore porn before this, right? In some of the like the mid to early 90s. She did some softcore pictures where she did show off her goods. And then of course she was in movies like Pumpkin Carver down the road, a really bad direct-to-DVD Halloween slasher movie, really, really bad one. But she's in that as well. She's like the queen of, we don't know what to do with this girl, right? Like, she's pretty, but where's the talent? And that's the problem with somebody like Amy Weber. It's like she's pretty, she's appealing, she catches the eye, she can draw money, she can put asses in seats. But the question is, what do you do with her? She's not a very good actress. She wasn't good at wrestling. Apparently did not take to it like a fish to water or a bird to air or whatever cliche you want to do. But she looked like $1 million, And that happens sometimes. That happens sometimes in the business of Hollywood and the business of wrestling and sport. Like, some people look the part, but they can't act the part. And this is the situation here. Not a good actress, Amy Weber playing the lead here. And basically, to me, what you have with Kolobos overall is a movie that I consider to be amateur hour. I don't mean in the most negative is the biggest piece of shit in the world way, but I do mean it in the fact that there's not much talent involved with this movie. There's not a lot of talent behind the camera. This is directed by a team of Daniel Tausich and David Todd Oakverk, co-directors on this picture. No talent. The other actors in the film, you may recognize some of them, you may not. Paula LaMarco as Tina, Nicole Pellerin as Erica. Some of these people, I mean, amateur hour. Like you clearly tell they didn't go on to do much. You clearly tell that these people, it felt like you were watching a high school play at times. Like that's how bad some of the acting is in this movie. For me. And like that's the thing, like it's amateur hour, but you do see one very vital, important thing, in my opinion, and that's passion. And you could tell the writers, that the directors, the people involved loved horror movies, because the entire movie does feel like a love letter to horror cinema in and of itself. And I appreciate that. That part of my heart goes out to the movie. And I do understand and think that, of course, imitation is the most sincere form of flattery. And the fact that, hey, glass half full, just because I see how much you are passionate about the films of yesteryear. There's a ton, I repeat, a ton of Dario Argento influence in this movie. The opening score sounds like a direct ripoff of Goblin. It's a direct Suspiria knock, like a direct fucking ripoff of the Goblin. Do 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 boom. That classic Suspiria score. That's what this is. The opening of this movie. It's like, oh my god, and it plays throughout. It's almost like it's trying to be Goblin throughout the movie, and I just didn't think that worked whatsoever. I was like, oh man, this is like blatant ripping off. And throughout the movie, you'll see more and more of that. I mean, there's tons of meta stuff that's trying to be like Scream. There's a eyeball impalement kill on a pair of antlers that's very reminiscent of Lucio Fulci's Zombie. The third act is entirely with the whole Suspiria lighting and the Suspiria colors and stuff like that. Like almost to the point where it was like, dude, I get that you love these movies of yesteryear, and I would be a liar if I told you that I don't love those movies too. But like, where does it stop and where does it start when you're trying to go and make a movie a name for yourself, right? That to me is the biggest problem with this movie. It doesn't have enough of an identity on its own. And I'll go into some of the story and you can tell me, but the movie basically opens up with a person that we see their POV, and they're running and asking for help, and they get rushed to the hospital, and the person says the name Kolobos. They keep saying the name under their breath, Kolobos. And then we follow up with that person who's laid up in a bed, all scarred up, all bandaged, on hell, and they hear of this ad in the newspaper. They hear of this ad that one of these, people are reading, and I could read what the ad says. Wanted freeloaders. Artist seeks 5 progressive-minded individuals for groundbreaking experimental film. Participants will share in free lodging in a fully furnished home in a snowy Mount Olympus resort. If you're willing to laugh, cry, love, hate, befriend, betray, and confess it all on VHS, we want you. And that's the whole like get in the newspaper. And of course they go throughout and bob and weave throughout the lives of the 5 people that are going to be participating in this experimental film / reality show, right? You have this guy is a failed stand-up comedian. You have a woman that's a failed actress that's very pomped and holier than thou and thinks that her shit doesn't stink, quite frankly. You have the scholar, and then you have the freeloading fun girl that works at a fast food place. And then you have our lead, who's, of course, Amy Weber, who is this girl that has all these drawings and paintings and things like that of herself, and she has a lot of mental problems and mental trauma. She's on medication. She doesn't seem like she's in a good headspace, and she doesn't have much of an outgoing or extroverted personality. She's very bottled down, buttoned up to herself. And that's the 5 characters that we get. And with a better cast, I don't think the writing was necessarily bad. Like, to me, the biggest thing missing in Kolobos is the talent. Like, if we had some good actors delivering this dialogue, it might have worked. But man, it just like I said, it just feels like amateur hour. It feels like you're watching your buddies at the school play, and it's like, I don't want to be mean because I see they're trying and I see the dedication, I see the passion, but I don't see the talent. And that's to me the biggest problem with Kolobos. It's like, where's the fucking talent? These actors are terrible. The lady, funny enough, the lady playing an actress is the worst one of all of them. I was like, my God, this lady's overdoing it so bad. She's like, I'm sophisticated. Any good actress does her work. And I get what she's trying to do. Like, she's trying to be, oh, my shit doesn't stink, and I know better than everybody, and I'm smarter than everybody. That's the whole what she's going for. But it's so obvious that's what she's fucking going for, to the point where I'm like, holy shit, could somebody have just stopped this lady and be like, you need to act different because it's so fucking bad. I mean, it just look at you like, God damn, like, what the fuck were they thinking? they all sit down and watch a horror film, and that's when it becomes very much like Scream. They're like, oh, this movie is very thought-provoking, and I love the character and her emotional struggle, blah, blah, blah. And then one guy at the edge of the couch just goes, this movie's retarded. It's one of the good lines of this movie. It's like, what the fuck? I laughed my ass off at that. And then, of course, one of them goes to the kitchen, and we get our first horror scene of the movie where basically the house is booby-trapped with these little machines that shoot out saw blades at you. And it's gimmick. So it's almost like Cube and Saw before Saw, but after Cube, if you will. This was 1999. She gets sliced up with this saw, and then basically they're being picked off and victimized, and we think that the killer is this guy that's a faceless killer named Kolobos, hence the name of the movie and the title of the movie. And there's a whole ideology that he may be living in the mind, residing in the mind of Amy Weber's character, Kyra. And can she bottle him up? Can she contain him? Can she save these people? Can they get out alive? Or will they meet their fates? Now, okay, not a horrible setup. But to me, the ideology of getting it in a reality show and all the stuff I read before, if you're willing to laugh, cry, love, hate, befriend, betray, and confess it all on VHS, I want you. Where was that in this movie? Where was the psychological trauma and confliction between the characters? Where was the doubt of, you're the one doing this? No, fuck you. I don't trust you, my guy. We were buddy-buddy in the beginning, but now I don't believe you. Now I'm not buying what you're selling anymore. Hence, building the tension in the house and making you pick a side, right? You're forced to take a dog in the proverbial fight when you're watching a movie like that that's unfolding. My Little Eye does that successfully. There's so many points where you go, is it the company or is it these characters that I opened up to somebody and then now they're using the skeletons in my closet to expose and go against me? That's so much better. They lay that question out for you. And granted, while again, I hate the ending of that movie and I hate where it ends up, at least there's that moment of doubt throughout about an hour of the film. There's nothing like that in this movie. It's just a neo horror movie that is kind of disguised and trying to be and write a love letter to the Italian, gore / jolly of yesteryear. And yeah, don't get me wrong. I love Dario Argento. I love him. I love Lucio Fulci. I love him. I love Saw, Cube, Scream, all these movies that are kind of taken from, and pieced together to get the ultimate puzzle known as Kolobos. I understand that. And I like those movies too. And like, I'll be the first one to tell you that there is definitely some influence in the short movie that I did. I'm not trying to say that you never should influence things that inspired you or got you to where you are and the reason that you're a film fan. I'm not saying you don't homage those things. I'm saying you have to hit the fucking brakes at some point and be your own thing. And this movie doesn't do that. And when it does, if you consider it to be doing that, I think it does a shitty fucking job at that. The whole spoilers. Now, you thought the ending of My Little Eye was fucking bad. Wait till you hear the ending of this movie. So big spoilers here. One by one, these people are picked off in uncreative, terrible fucking ways. Oh, and the whole time it's fucking Suspiria. Green room, blue room, red room. All they were missing was the barbed wire room where they could have fucking flossed up their fucking ass to get the corn turds out of their ass faster. Get the fuck out of here with these. To the point where I was like, motherfucker, really? Really? Do we really have a pink bathroom at this fucking point? Like, what the fuck? It's fucking nonsense, man. And you would have thought that fucking Dario was like, you come, Kolobos. But they're killing all motherfuckers. And then the whole twist of the end is that the lead, Amy Weber, imagined everything. It was all in her head. It was all imagined. And none of this shit that we watched for an hour plus ever fucking happened. No. Instead, we flash forward to Amy Weber's at home now. She's fucking on some meds. And she goes, hey, wait a minute. I know. Let's set up motherfuckers. Let's do what I envisioned and make it become a reality. And that's the whole twist at the end, is that we're going to take the movie that you just saw and it's going to play out again for unsuspecting victims, and Amy Weber's in on it this time. Ooh la la. That's bullshit. Like, what a bullshit ending. And like, to me, they totally fail to capitalize on the reality aspect of it. Like, that's one of this movie's biggest flaws. I mean, there's several. I mean, like I said, zero talent, zero fucking originality, and zero utilization and capturing of what your fucking concept of the movie was supposed to be on paper. Now, I'm not the one to tell you what your movie should or shouldn't be, but at the same time, a reality horror movie, would it be crazy to throw reality elements in it? It's just basically, yep, they're filming in the house. That's it. We occasionally get zooms of the cameras, but it's shot like a normal movie otherwise. Like My Little Eye at least used the DV footage and the CCTV footage to make it feel like we were watching from a sky cam or something, right? Something that felt forbidden and raw and that we shouldn't be watching this. Whereas this, it's very glossed over and it's very fucking polished. And to me, it didn't work. Like that to me is my biggest problem with Kolobos overall, is the talent involved. I don't think you had enough talent here. You had passion, and I dare to say I think these people tried. God bless them. And I'm not even a religious man. God bless these people. They fucking tried. But unfortunately, they fucking failed. Kolobos is a fucking mess, in my opinion. It's a big old fucking mess. I don't like it. I think it kind of sucks, but I know it has a big cult following, so people maybe really like this. Let's see what y'all have to say in the chat. Where the heck were we? I think we were here. There was a cool murder mystery reality game show. Also, they had kids horror content show on Nickelodeon called Scaredy Camp. It's a thing. Yeah, I remember her kind of. Okay, yeah. I wasn't watching WWE at that time. Okay. Yeah, the locker room was cutthroat and cruel back then. Yeah, no, when you hear that, it's funny when you hear that story. Like, holy shit, like Edge made you quit the company? And like she claims that Edge poured like an alcohol beverage all over her while she was sleeping. And she got up and got in his face and was like, motherfucker. And he was like, I didn't do it. And apparently, she literally quit the minute the plane landed. Like that's a shame. And, you've heard stories of that. A plane ride from hell. This is just a crazy one. When you hear that whole story and like, I don't know, like the whole thing with Aileen Weber, it's sad. It's really, really sad. Basham Brothers part of the cabinet too. Well, that's what happened when Triple H doesn't want to work Tuesdays. Yeah, that's right. Triple H was supposed to be the champion on SmackDown, but of course he didn't want to work Tuesdays was the story. And of course, JBL was a lifetime jobber, right? Of the Blackjack. No, was he the part of the Blackjacks? He was APA. He was Bradshaw. He had 100 different gimmicks. John Layfield, 100 different gimmicks until he became the cowboy billionaire, New York City cowboy, if you will, that won the WWE title. And that was I will say that was a fun reign. Like I liked the whole JBL, like it was so good from the fact of being a heel. Like it was so fucking well done. Like one of my favorite WWE segments ever is, I think it's Armageddon, and it's a four-way. It's a fatal four-way. It's Booker T, Undertaker, Eddie Guerrero, and JBL. And JBL's defending the title against the three of them in a four-way match. And the pre-match, it's JBL, and he's sitting in the locker room looking at the title, and the cabinet comes up to him almost like it's a eulogy. Like he can't, it's not just you can't win the match or you can't retain the title. It's that he's going to die. Like he's going to go out there. He's not going to survive the match. Like I loved the way that was delivered, and they're all looking at him, and he even himself, it's like, I'm going to fucking die out there. Like that's one of my favorite segments ever. And he of course does win the match and retains the belt. Like I always thought that was a great segment from the JBL reign. That was really a fun reign. Yeah, I hear you. I don't really watch comedy unless it's a horror comedy. Hey, as long as they try, that's better than some of the, yes, I like that's, I can give you the fucking absolute gratification and confirmation that they tried. Like there's effort here. It's just bad. Like that, like it's, I feel bad burying the movie because I truly do think that these probably were very nice people that were trying their hardest. Like it's the inverse Eli Roth, where it's like, I look at Eli Roth, and I know he loves the genre as much as we do. I know he loves all that stuff, and he knows all the weird stuff like we do. Like he know, like people always say, "Oh, I'm shocked that Eli Roth knew what street trash was." I'm not. Like he loves it like we do. Like don't be mistaken. He's a guy that loves it like we do, that made it big and got Quentin Tarantino to produce his films and literally made a big name for himself. And like that art element of it, I'm happy for Eli Roth. That's awesome for him. Good for him. But the movies he makes and the attitude he has towards said movies about Hostel and fucking, Cabin Fever and all these movies, it's like, I don't like the guy. Like to me, comes off very smug. Whereas these people, it's like, yeah, I don't see the talent here either. I see the passion, but like, I don't know what happened to these people. Like they barely did anything after this. So I don't know. It's like, it's a situation where, these are people that didn't make it, didn't have the talent, didn't get the eye on the talent. And that was it. I mean, their careers came and went. Jesus, Grande stepped away for a second, and I hear you replicating the Goblin score, and it scared the shit out of me. I'm so sorry. My bad, dog. My bad. Only watched Kolobos because of your live stream, Tom, but didn't like it. Cheapy colored gels to mimic Argento and knockoffs of Superior theme. Yes, it's. I didn't like it either. Like again, I could give it a merit on A for effort, but my God, it's probably an F overall. And what's crazy, I will say this to you, Tom, and I was shocked. People really like this movie. Like I saw a lot of reviews where people were singing this movie's praises like it was fucking Allah. I was like, what the fuck, man? I don't know. I just didn't really like it. I did manage to watch Kolobos. I just wasn't feeling it at all. Yeah, no, that happens sometimes. More rapping. I like the Saw franchise Grande. Okay. We got Crater Mania in the house. Speaking of wrestling, guys, Crater is going to have me on his channel, like I said, next Wednesday. I'm very much looking forward to that. We're going to be discussing why I got into wrestling. So subscribe to Crater Mania if you haven't already. He's doing his episode on why he got into wrestling on Sunday. So shout out to Crater. You're the man. We've had Crater on for a fun roundtable in the past. So Crater's always doing some fun stuff on the channel. Any maggots raining down? No, it probably couldn't afford them, Mateo. But I'm sure if they had a budget to create or afford maggots, they probably would have done that too. Green, yellow, red room. Okay. I did find it funny seeing the Tom character played by Donnie Terranova. Funny because to me, because I'm Tom and Terranova is a name from Newfoundland where I live. Never knew it was a surname. Okay, I didn't know that either. Let's see. I'm not a religious man either. Edge and Randy Orton were notorious assholes back then, so I believe it. Yeah, no, Randy's it's crazy when you think about Randy. Like Randy's like two different guys. It was the Randy then and the Randy now. Like Randy now seems chill, mellowed out, like dad life, whereas Randy then was on pills and did some really horrible things and was an asshole. I mean, everybody say that Randy Orton was that. Edge, I've heard more positive than negative. I was surprised to hear Edge was involved in that, but it's a shame. Remember Amy Weber Big Show relationship angle? I do remember that. That was crazy. And Joy Giovanni, I remember there was the one where they shot Big Show in the ass with the dart, and Big Show was knocked out and fell through the table and stuff like that. And there was one where he threw Kurt Angle off the fucking balcony and Kurt Angle was like dead apparently or broke his leg or whatever the fuck. Like there's so many crazy. And the time Kurt Angle walked in, that's right. That was right before the Royal Rumble 05 where they did that whole angle where Kurt Angle went like busted in and walked in on her in the fucking shower. Holy shit, man. Those were the days. That was 20 plus fucking years ago at this point. It's crazy. Wrestling not my thing, Ronnie. All right, hey, it's not for everybody. Cowboy JBL. It really was. He was like really good at getting heat genuinely. Like he just, my God. And to think that he was in the mid card for basically his entire career before that, and then to just get the WWE title and you're running on SmackDown for like almost a year as the champion was amazing stuff. And of course he was the guy to put John Cena over for the title. Like that was the fucking guy that got John Cena the world title WrestleMania. And then John Cena's career goes on to be as fabled as ever. Like JBL was a great money heel, in my opinion. Just really good. The character was money. I liked it a lot. Ghostface Brett's here. Hello, Grande. Hello, Graveyard. Hello, Mr. Ghostface Brett. I was at a SmackDown where Eddie Guerrero kayfabe hurt JBL's neck, and he came out with a ridiculous, huge neck phrase with the half. Did he really? At Iron Sabbath 1188, thank you so much for stopping by. I know you've been checking the archives of the Tales from the Crypt and Twilight Zone reviews, so I do appreciate you checking out the live tonight, my friend. And yeah, no, there was, I believe, and don't quote me on this, I think there was one where like JBL apparently in kayfabe, she didn't really have, but he like gave her a heart attack. I think that happened where it was JBL and Eddie Guerrero's mom in the ring, and JBL like was talking down to her and stuff, and then she faked having a heart attack. And like Eddie came to the ring. I think that I'm pretty sure that was one of the angles that happened. It was like, what the fuck are they thinking, dude? Like that's too far. There was and obviously I won't get into some real life stuff that's going on, but like there were segments where JBL was like at the border and was doing border patrol of people trying to get into the country. And he was like, God damn it, get out of my country. He was like, JBL was at the border with the fucking belt and stuff. Like, holy shit, man. Like they holy shit, they pushed boundaries back then that were not to be fucking pushed. And if you did that shit now, Holy shit. Like, APA was the best, my favorite. I was mad when he became JBL. Wow, that's so funny. I'm the opposite. I think, like, I'm not big on anything he did much before that character. I think JBL was the character. Like, he was so good. JBL thing was based on him being known as a shark in the stock market. He even wrote a book on how to get rich through the stock market before he became the JBL character. Yes, it's it's no controversy creates cash, but it certainly was something else. And I think also what the big thing with him is that he was hated in the locker room. Like everybody fucking hated him. Like the whole brawl for all thing was literally an idea that Vince Russo got in order to get JBL knocked the fuck out. Like that's how much he was disliked. It literally ended the careers of people, and that was literally the whole ideology was let's get JBL knocked out. Like, it's crazy. JBL top heel for me all time. I'm with you. I think it was so well done, and like he could do it. He got it. Like John Bradford Layfield was really good at generating organic, legit heat. The disaster called the Green Inferno. Dude, the Green Inferno fucking sucks. Like to me, that's a movie where I'm like, dude, why do people like the Green Inferno? Like, oh my God, horrible. I'll take, you know what, you sons of bitches, I'll take Kolobos over the Green Inferno. I'll watch Kolobos 4 times in a row before I'll ever watch it fucking Green Inferno again. The ending between Dream archetype for a real death game sounds like an opening scene instead of a whole film. I agree. Like that to me is, and it's funny, we've talked more about JBL than we have talked about Kolobos, but it goes to show you that it's not that fucking interesting. If it goes to show you, we'd rather talk about a fictional heel cowboy New Yorker than talk about this fucking movie. So there you go. The ending, yeah, I mean, I agree. It would be better to be like a plant for the film, or even if the reveal at the end was she had a dream and everything we watched was the payoff. That would have even been better. Like she set them up the whole time and played innocent, played dumb, played introvert. That even would have been clever, but no, they just weren't. They just were so focused on Dario Argento, Lucio Fulci. Like motherfucker, I get it. You like them. Can we make a good movie now? Is that against the rules or something? I didn't know Edge did sleep with his friend's girlfriend. Yeah, well, I mean, and then Lita. Holy shit, Lita was with Edge, Matt Hardy, CM Punk. I mean, Lita was with fucking a ton of guys. That's true. Like I know what you're trying to say. I just think like you definitely hear more bad stuff about Randy. Like Randy was holy shit, man. Like all the crazy stories with him, and the infamous story where he didn't go to the WrestleMania rehearsal with the Undertaker. He didn't fucking show up. Like you fucking imagine you're wrestling the Undertaker WrestleMania and you didn't bother to show up for the rehearsal. Like so crazy. Remember when Big Show confessed to eating his sister's boyfriend? What? I don't remember that at all. No, I don't. I remember the one where it was like Big Show's like wasn't Big Show's dad's funeral, and the Big Boss Man showed up and like towed the guy's casket out of there. Like that was crazy. Speaking of heat, JBL on a tour in Germany, High did a Nazi salute to spectators. No, did he? Jesus Christ, man. Like, yeah, like that, like some people do not have any chill, man. Like that, but again, as crazy as that is, that's a great way to get heat. Like to me, with pro wrestling, they're really, I mean, obviously there's always limits and lines and you don't want to step over them. But when you're a heel, you could flirt with those lines as much as possible in order, as long as it's generating legit heat. And that's definitely flirting with the line, though. I don't know if I have cojones that big to do something like that, but I guess JBL did. Huge Sales in the Crib, an anthology fan, would love to see you do Monsters and 60s. Holy shit. Well, I'm about to make your night right here. Monsters is coming in March. We're doing Monsters. Me and this guy, Dr. Howdy666, we are doing Monsters in March. So we will be doing season 1. Stay tuned for that, my friend. That's coming in March. So that's really cool that you mentioned that. The Border said, yeah, it's like, I still can't believe they did that. Bart Gunn got screwed. Yeah, Bart Gunn did get screwed. That's true. Bart Gunn, they should have pushed him after it. Instead, they were like, nope, you get knocked out by Butterbean. Steve Black refusing to be in the Brawl for All saved a lot of people's lives. Probably. I mean, I think, who the hell else was in it? What the fuck? He was another like legit tough guy too. I can't think of his damn name. Dan Severin. Dan Severin was in it. And he was like a legit fighter, so I can't even imagine that whole element of it too. What a twist. Yeah, what a twist for real. What a twist. Broke my wrist, just wanted a kiss. It was on my list. Oh my God, with the raps. Will they pull the trigger and make Cardona and Chelsea the new Edge and Lita? They're probably not smart. I mean, they did that in GCW. They did that, and it was fun. I mean, I don't know if they would never do that in WWE. I just can't. Maybe they would, but I don't know. Poor Big Show always had the crazy. Yeah, Big Show ate a lot of shit in that fucking company for sure. This is no longer a movie stream. Yeah, for real. The chat is taking over Grande's Graveyard. So stoked for monsters. I am too. JBL spoke in a stereotypical Asian accent in Japan. While no, did he really? I didn't see that segment either. That's holy shit. But Kolobos, Kolobos is not worth your time. It is a horrendous piece of shit, really. But I don't know. It's an endearing one, I guess, in some ways. Some people may like it. I just don't. Which brings us to the last movie of tonight's episode of Grande's Graveyard. I know we've sidetracked a little bit into the wrestling talk. Sorry about that. Me and Crater will be talking about wrestling 6 days from now. So you can watch that all you want when we're on Crater's channel. So thank you again, Chris, for having me on. But initially, we're going to review Red Room, which, of course, came out in 1999. It was a Japanese film, and it had this reality show concept of these 4 people that were in this horrible debt, and they are competing on this reality show to win money in order to pay off their debts. Like a very low-budget, poor man's Squid Game, but in Japan. And, of course, this movie that I couldn't find. I couldn't get a copy of it. Instead, we're replacing it with this movie. We're replacing it with this movie because I couldn't get a copy of Red Room to watch in time for the show. Instead, trick or treat, motherfucker. Halloween Resurrection. Brief plot synopsis. 3 years after he last terrorized his sister, Michael Myers confronts her again before traveling to Haddonfield to deal with the new cast and crew of a reality TV show called Dangertainment. Yes, and Dangertainment is being broadcasted from Michael Myers' childhood home. Yes, Halloween Resurrection. Jesus Christ. It's funny because I initially want to do Red Room. I was like, not enough people have seen Red Room. I'm really excited. I just couldn't find a copy online to rewatch, and I knew I wasn't going to order one to get here in time. So the plan B, if you will, the B plan was Halloween Resurrection, which again does fit the reality horror movie television stream special ideology of this episode of Grande's Graveyard. And my Lord, this was a really crazy. I already see it's an honor, brother. Thank you. It's an honor to be joining for sure. It does. And I was upset I couldn't watch for the show. I just could not find a copy online for the life of me. So it goes to show you I need the physical media. Busta, yes, Busta. Oh, great, tuned in just in time for Halloween Resurrection. Absolutely. Only seen the original Halloween 3 season of the witch, which I really like. 4 and 5. I think I've seen 2. That's it so far. Well, I will tell you of one to avoid. It's this one. Dangertainment. Yes, Dangertainment is live, if you will, on Grande's Graveyard. Holy shit. So let's wind the clocks back, right? Of course, these movies we're talking about tonight, 1999, 2002, and another one from 2002. This was hot off the press of Halloween H2O, which at the time was a big hit. I'm not a big fan of Halloween H2O. I like the third act. I like Laurie's character arc. But, I mean, that movie was a fan pleaser, a crowd pleaser, made a shit ton of money. They were like, let's make Scream into Halloween, right? The neo-horror movement at the time had really come around and really kind of changed the game, right? You had your Urban Legends, your I Know What You Did Last Summers, your movies like that. Do You Want to Know a Secret? And Cherry Falls and all of these movies that were coming around the pike, neo-horror slasher-wise. And then, of course, they make Halloween H2O, which, again, like I said, not a big hit, but it was a big hit in the fans' eyes, and it ended the series. It was the bow, the cherry, the whipped cream, the whatever on top you want to say of the Halloween franchise. Michael is dead. We win. We go home. This series is over. Play John Carpenter's original theme on the way out. And that's what they did. But money talks. And, of course, the CODs, the people at Dimension, we could bring him back. Oh, how could you bring him back? He was decapitated in the last one, Grande. How did Michael Myers come back from a decapitation? Oh, I know. We'll write this horrendously bad subplot where Michael Myers switched clothes with an ambulance driver, crushed his larynx so the man couldn't speak, and then Laurie Strode drove off the road, pinned between a tree, chopped off his head, grabbed his hand, cried a little cry, And the whole time, this fucking guy couldn't have just done this or demask or no, it wasn't. Nope. Okay, now they're telling you that guy wasn't Michael Myers and that Michael Myers is still alive. He's still on the loose and he's back for Jamie Lee. And the opening 15 minutes of this movie is horrendous. It's Jamie Lee sitting in a fucking asylum, sad and depressed over the innocent ambulance driver that she killed and decapitated. And then fucking Michael Myers shows up. He tricks her. He kills her finally. And oh my God, he's finally done it. He's finally killed Jamie Lee Curtis after Halloween, Halloween 2, Halloween H2O, Halloween Resurrection. She's finally been killed off. Holy shit, it's over. It's over. And the question you ask, well, what happens when it's over? What happens when Michael kills his goal? What happens when Michael, ends everything? And the answer, he just wants to go home. Michael Myers wants to go home. The problem? Busta Rhymes and a bunch of people are shooting a fucking reality show in the middle of the Myers house, and Michael comes home to see these dumbasses with cameras strapped to their heads, cameras strapped to their fucking walls, cameras strapped to their fucking pelvic thrusts and fucking strap-ons and all the nonsense you want to talk about. It's just insane, this movie. Like, this is just a bad fucking idea. And I get it. Neo-horror, right? We'll put everybody on the cover. We'll get a rapper to be one of the leads in it because this was the time of movies where it was like, if we don't have a rapper, we don't have a chance, right? We had Bones with Snoop Dogg. We had Leprechaun Back to the Hood with Sticky Fingers. You don't remember Sticky Fingers? Come on. If you don't remember Sticky Fingers, then you're not living the good life that we all should be living. LL Cool J in the previous movie, right? Halloween H2O. The ladies love Cool J, and Ronnie the security guard does nothing but talk to his fucking wife on the phone all movie. Let's get Busta. Let's get Busta Rhymes. Trick or treat, motherfucker. Busta Rhymes plays the lead creative of this reality TV show called Dangertainment, and Tyra Banks by his side, and they want to get these kids into the Myers house for a reality TV show, night of fun and spooks and stuff like that. And of course, I will say the one aspect, they are playing on the tropes of reality TV, right? There's a point where Busta Rhymes says, what would be the fun of watching a bunch of kids run around an empty house? Like, we have to have something where things happen, things jump out at you, you guys making love, you guys getting jump scared, things like that. That's the mentality of a reality TV show. It would be boring if we just kind of turn the volume down. We've got to script it. We've got to turn the volume up. The danger and the dangertainment has to be booming in order for our ratings to be booming. And that's the whole ideology of Busta and the Dangertainment show. That's probably the only good idea they had in this whole movie because, man, everybody else just sucks. And we can go through this cast because there's really not much here cast-wise. Bianca Kadlich as the lead girl, Sarah. Personality of a pickle, really. I mean, really terrible. And fun, I always say, fun fact, she went on to be in a movie called 30 Minutes or Less, which is with Jesse Eisenberg and Danny McBride and Aziz Ansari. They're obviously, she's in that movie. She plays a stripper that's dancing for Danny McBride. And funny enough, he would go on to write the Halloween trilogy that happened a few years after that. So I always thought that was weird. It was like Halloween Resurrection handing off to Danny McBride. Just a weird scene where the lead final girl in this is giving a topless lap dance to Danny McBride. Won't be weird. That was where she went after this movie, the lead final girl, right? Let's make a star. She's fucking stripping for Danny McBride in a movie about a pizza delivery. Sean Patrick Thomas, who you might remember from Cruel Intentions. He's one of the pawns in Sarah Michelle Gellar's chess game of that movie. You might remember him. Daisy McCracken would know her from A Stranger on the fucking Street. Luke Kirby would know him from A Stranger in the Street. Kate Sackhoff, who you might know from a little show called The Mandalorian. She's actually probably become the biggest actor on any of these things. She's on this in this movie, and she's probably one of the lead standouts because she's like this blonde, friend of the lead, and she's kind of like all for this stuff. And one of the big ones is Thomas Ian Nicholas from Rookie of the Year and the American Pie movies. He's in this movie as well. He's one of the first ones killed off, but he's in this as well. And we watch these terrible, vanilla, boring actors enter this house with the camera strapped to their heads, and man, like, the writing in this movie is horrible. Like this really, as stupid as this movie is, it could have been fun. Like, if you had some smart characters, likable characters, people that we could have got to know and enjoy and get to root for, maybe this would have been a fun haunted house simulator movie. But no, like Sean Patrick Thomas, his whole idea, I cook. I'm a cook. Everything to me is about food. Bianca, oh, I'm just quiet. I'm so quiet. I have no personality. I'm quiet. The one guy, I'm biker dude. I'm trying to be cool. I'm hip. The devil made Michael do it, right? And then this ginger lady, this ginger bitch, fucking fire crotch. Oh, I have a PhD in this. I have a PhD in that. I have a PhD quesadilla, and I'm the smartest one in the room, but I'm also dumb as fuck because I got killed by fucking Michael Myers in Halloween Resurrection. So you weren't that fucking smart, lady. Let's be honest. I mean, the cast sucks. The writing sucks. It's trying to be like Scream, trying to be Neo, and none of that really drives home. I will say this. As bad as this movie is, it is fucking funny how bad it is. Like, there are so many funny elements of this movie. And one of them being Busta Rhymes is a fan of Kung Fu cinema. He's a fan of Kung Fu cinema, and there are points where he dresses up as Michael Myers and curses out Michael Myers. I'm not kidding you. He goes, "What the fuck are you supposed to be, Michael Myers? I'm Michael Myers, motherfucker. I left the back door of the garage open, you motherfucker. Get your goofy ass out of here." It's just Busta Rhymes cursing out Michael Myers. Michael Myers just looking at him like the whole time. It's just like, what the fuck are we doing? And the finale of this movie is basically Ryan Merriman is on his phone texting the lead the whole time. Like, he's behind you, he's behind. And that's how they use the reality gimmick. Like, I know one thing Michael Myers cannot defeat. The Shape, the all-time great horror icon that everybody loves. The one thing Michael Myers can't beat is a text message. Because I can just text you, he's coming up the stairs. Run away, bitch, because CCTV's reality. Yeah. You got to be kidding me. This was such a bad idea for a movie. Like, horrible fucking idea. And of course, it comes down to Busta and this boring lady, and the two of them fight Michael Myers, and Busta Rhymes uses Kung Fu to defeat the Shape. Michael Myers is defeated by Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes kicks Michael Myers' fucking ass, and Busta says, "Trick or treat, motherfucker." That's the big line of this movie. Trick or treat, motherfucker. And there's even a point where Busta does a promo on Michael Myers after he beats him. He cuts a promo. He goes, "Michael Myers is not a soundbite. Michael Myers is a killer shark in baggy ass overalls." What the fuck are you talking? Like, what? This movie's a bad dream. I'm convinced this movie doesn't exist. This never happened. I'm convinced there's not a Halloween movie where we watch Tyra Banks making a fucking latte for 5 minutes as one of the cameramen in the house is killed. Now, you may be asking the pivotal question: who directed this? Who made this movie? Who made this movie? Rick Rosenthal. I love Rick Rosenthal. Rick Rosenthal made my favorite Halloween movie. I love Halloween 2 the best out of any Halloween movie. Love that fucking movie. Love it. I love it. Love Halloween 2. It's my favorite of the bunch. He also somehow made this fucking movie, which is horrible, man. Like, I don't know how that happens. I don't know if he had a fucking brain aneurysm between those two films. I don't know. 21 years later, he makes Halloween Resurrection. I don't know if he just got, I don't know if he had a bump on the head. I don't know if he got into a fucking bad car accident. I don't know if he just had an aneurysm and just lost his fucking mind. I don't know what happened to Rick Rosenthal. I can't tell you. I don't know what happened. But a bunch of shit on the screen happens. It's Halloween Resurrection, and it fucking sucks. There's nothing good about this movie. It's not a fun time at the movies. There's some funny shit that's not intentionally funny, but otherwise, it's just a real stinker. And this killed the franchise for a long time. Like, this was a movie when it ends, like, if you're a producer, if you're a studio, if you're trying to milk these movies, you're out of fucking milk when this movie ends. Like, you're out of milk. Like, there's nothing left to milk. You have to remake it at this point. You have to reboot it at this point. There's nowhere to go from Halloween Resurrection, where the movie ends where Busta Rhymes is cutting a promo on Michael Myers and comparing him to KFC chicken. There's nowhere to go. You've hit the brick wall. You've hit the fucking bottom of the barrel. It's over. It just stinks, man. Halloween Resurrection stinks. But let's see what y'all have to say in the chat, because clearly I can see you guys have more opinions on this than Kolobos. I don't even think Kolobos. I don't know if he was even watched by the people that made his families. Really. I'll take this over the last three pieces of shit. I'm with you. I will watch Busta Rhymes Kung Fu fight Michael Myers and Tyra Banks and Bianca, boring as a fucking bump on a pickle, Kajlich, whatever the fuck. I will watch that over that last trilogy. I hated all three of those movies equally. Like that is the biggest waste of your time is those movies. Like I would rather watch a bad Neo/reality TV show horror movie from 2002 with Busta Rhymes kung fu fighting Michael Myers over that shit. And that's when you know it's bad. Hey, can't remember. I said hi to you. Okay. I hate it, but I still watch it. I did like Michael passing the knife to that inmate. Yes, and the inmate reads off his Michael Myers, born 1963, killed his sister. Like he reads off his whole I guess resume. I thought that was cool. I don't know. It's like in a way, there are some things here. Okay, like I know I dogged the movie, and it deserves to be dogged. Let's be honest. I will say the mask is better here than it was in H2O. I think the Michael Myers is better than I think Brad Lorre is better than Chris Duran, who fucking his own mother said he sucked in the movie. His own fucking mom told him you sucked in this movie, Chris. Like, I don't know if she really did, but I think she did. Halloween Resurrection is greater than Halloween 5. I will take Halloween 5 and Halloween Resurrection over those last three. I really will. Like, I don't even think Halloween Resurrection is the bottom. Like, I'll take Resurrection over Rob Zombie's second one. I would take Resurrection over the last four. I would say it's better than Halloween 2. It's better than the three David Gordon Green ones. I would say it's better than all those. I actually maybe lean towards Halloween 5 there, but holy shit. I'd have to see Halloween movie Grande to make up my mind about it, but maybe it's terrible if you say so. Yeah, maybe it is. Michael Myers is taken out by a roadhouse kick courtesy of Busta Rhymes. He busts through the door like he's fucking Superman. And he goes, yo, Mikey, trick or treat, motherfucker. Like, what the fuck? What? I really don't understand what the fucking fad and fetish was for getting rappers at this time. Like, what did that draw? Like, oh, you know what this movie needs? Sticky Fingers. You know what this fucking movie needs? Snoop Dogg. You know what this fucking movie needs? LL Cool J. Like, why? Like, I get that rap was big. I get that these motherfuckers were big on MTV, but what do they have to add to your film? LL Cool J just stood on the phone in a fucking booth the whole movie. Sticky Fingers, I don't even remember what the fuck he did in Leprechaun Back to the Hood. And then Busta granted had the most screen time, probably had the biggest part and the most memorable thing about Halloween Resurrection is him fucking crane kicking Michael Myers. But does that make it good? I mean, holy shit. Halloween Resurrection was not one of my. I'm shocked. I'm really shocked. Waiting to see if you have runners up list before I say my choices. Well, I don't. So if you want to say your choices, feel free to share with us. The decapitation idea makes me think of Alien Resurrection where anything to bring the fucking character back, right? We'll just writing. We're writers. Yeah, we went to writing school. Yeah, fuck you. Michael should have called the HOA. Yeah, he probably should have, man. He probably should have. These motherfuckers are in my house. Grande, they just wanted to milk the. But that's what they do. We talked about it last week. Talked about 9 Tomie movies. How much milk can be in the fucking jugs? How much? There's probably going to be another Halloween and another Alien movie. Of course there is. Of course, because money talks. Cooper Glover, it does. The one that killed me was when Michael ran into Freddy dressed as. Yeah, Michael just gets a fucking promo. He basically tells him to kill Tyra Banks. Like, I left the back door open and she's sitting there on the fucking monitors and the fucking screen. And he just basically, it's like, what the hell? To be fair, there's lots of things they could do with Alien franchise in comparison to Halloween. I agree with that for sure. Like, if there's one that has more milk than the other, it's definitely the Alien movies. I come in and you're already talking about topless dancing. I like it. Well, what better? This is Dangertainment, all right? Forget Grande's Graveyard. This is Dangertainment, if you will. And Michael Myers, if Michael Myers shows up in the chat, trick or treat, motherfucker. Welcome, Jeff Phantom Analogs in the house. Robert Harbitz II. Hello, Grande and all. Welcome, Robert. Hope all is well with you. Oh God, the raps. Oh my God. People saying hi. Where the heck were we? You know my opinion on the franchise. Well, yes, absolutely. And then it doesn't get as bad as this. I mean, I would say bottom 5 Halloween movie, but it's not. I don't even think it's a bottom 3. I really don't. Bruce Leroy. That's right. He's a Bruce Leroy for sure. Where can I see her goods? LMAO. Watch. It's called 30 Minutes or Less. You can see her yet, and she's dancing in front of Danny McBride. And Danny McBride is like, I got a fucking idea. And like, to me, it's just so weird that he would go on to write the Halloween movies and he's in front of a woman that's yits are all over his face and she was a final girl in a Halloween movie. I always thought that was so weird. I remember in the theater being like, the lady from Halloween Resurrection? What the fuck? Trick or treat, motherfucker. I love the opening of Halloween 8 with the clown mental patient. Okay, so it sounds like people like that guy. That, if for nothing else, that guy was good. Ryan Marion was great. Luck of the Irish. Holy shit. That's a pull. I watched that movie on the Disney Channel. That was a hysterical fucking movie where it was Ryan Merriman and he was like Irish descent, or I guess they didn't tell him he was of Irish descent. He was just from Cleveland, right? That was the whole joke. They didn't want to tell him his heritage, and he's lucky, like he aces tests without studying. He's like the most popular guy at school, and then basically he starts turning into a fucking leprechaun, and then has to fucking go and like fight for his rights to be a human. And the whole movie ends with a bunch of people holding hands on the stage singing, "This land is your land, this land is my land, from California, come on graveyard, to the New York Island." That's what we need. That's what the whole world needs right now, is for everybody to get on stage, hold hands, and just sing, "This land is your land. This land was made for you and me." Maybe Busta Rhymes helped the film to make money. Did he really? Did anyone buy a ticket to Halloween Resurrection to say, "I'm here for Busta Rhymes"? I'm serious. I really am serious about that from a marketing and business perspective. Who in the fuck are those people? Like, I would love to know. Like, would they have seen the movie with or without Busta? Like, I'm curious. Maybe the answer is yes. Michael has that cot in his basement lair. And a dead, partially eaten rat on the stove that's twitching, because why not? Use your Busta impression and do one of the Kubrick. Oh, did I? Oh, God. Let's see. I don't know. I can't do good fucking rap of fucking. Let me see. Let me go up to one of his several raps. Where the fuck? Oh, geez. Where the fuck is? Okay. What a twist. I broke my wrist. I just want to kiss. It was the list. I don't know. I don't do good Busta Rhymes. Yo, motherfucker. I'm supposed to be Michael Myers, motherfucker. I have the PhD quesadilla. I'm fucking dead. You need to make sure that give me a diploma with it. Because this fucking bitch, that's all she did. I'm orange-haired ginger lady. I fucking fire crotch. And that's her whole character. She's just, I'm smart. And then guess what happens? She's fucking dumb and gets killed by Michael Myers because she decides a good idea to go into the basement of a house of a fucking serial killer when you suspect that he's fucking home. Real fucking genius. What PhD did you get for that? To me, it's a PhD quesadilla, and you burnt the fucking cheddar, motherfucker. Trick or treat on that, motherfucker. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Do you have to ask? I would say thumbs down. Before we had those reality shows, one of the most classic reality shows was Candid Camera. Smile, you're on. Right, that's right. And they do say that in this movie at some point. I used to tease Night Watch about Busta Rhymes, his martial arts, and Halloween. It never gets old. It truly never gets old. Busta does a promo rap. Oh, God. Got Michael Myers blood on tap. He's about to bust a cap. After 16 hours of filming, he needs a nap. Oh, shit. We're dropping bars on Grande's graveyard. $50 to sleep one night at Michael's crusty-ass basement cot. Thumb through his collection, hustler under the bed, pages stuck together, of course. Well, we would have it no other way, right? The shape's got to have some hustlers. I'm not sure how we did all this discussion about reality TV and wrestling, and Tough Enough didn't even come up yet. That's actually a great fucking point. How did that, like, we got to talk about Hardcore Holly beat the shit out of that one guy. Like, I don't know, but maybe next week. Reboot with Missy Elliott is next. Oh my God. Imagine if they did like this gimmick today of let's get the rappers, like who would they get? That would be really fun. I'm sure Bad Bunny would totally be one they would get. Eminem's time is kind of past. I'm shocked they didn't get Eminem for one of these movies. Like 8 Mile was the same year. 8 Mile was 2002. I'm shocked we didn't get like Eminem versus Jason or something like that. That would have been fucking terrible. But they also put Jason in space, so who's to say which would have been worse? Marshall Mathers versus Jason. Let's do it. The cow ran dry with Halloween Resurrection. That is true. That was it. There was no. Like now you have continuities, now you have timelines, now you have the zombie movies, and now you have the Thorn movies, right? But the Thorn movies did come before this, but there's that aspect of it where people say, do you like the Thorn movies? Do you like the ones where it's just 1, 2, H2O Resurrection? Do you like the new 3? There's all of these factions of people. I stick with 1 through 4 is good, and everything else is ugly. That's kind of where I'm at with those. Honestly, can you imagine Freddy versus Jason without Kelly Rowland? I mean, I don't think I could. That's one of Destiny's children right there. Come on. And we learned in that film that Freddy Krueger was racist. I mean, I don't know what my life would have been or amounted to if I didn't know that Kelly Rowland had her nose taken off in a dream sequence in that. And also decided to compare Jason's dick with Freddy's dick because aren't we fucking funny? But yeah, no, I couldn't imagine it without that. Don't like Snoop or LL? Well. But this is nothing about me liking or disliking those people at all. To me, it's just an odd casting. Like, what does Snoop Dogg have to add to your film? What does LL Cool J have to add to your horror film about Jamie Lee Curtis and fighting her fucking demons of 20 years? What did he have to add? Like, to me, like, okay, if you're going to do a movie like that, like, make it relevant, make them a part of it. And instead, it just feels like it's he's in it. Like, the young kids will see this hit person's in it and they'll buy tickets. Like, if that's the mentality, what the fuck, man? Anything is better than that David Gordon Green trilogy, in my opinion. Absolutely 100% awful. I agree. I think that's the worst the Halloween ever got. I think that trilogy is absolutely the bottom of the barrel. Series 7, The Contenders, and a British series called Dead Set, which I preferred to all discuss tonight. Sorry. Big Brother with a zombie breakout and people stuck in Big Brother house. Well, you know what? If I ever do a second one, I will take you up on those because like these, I really couldn't find too many. There's not too many with this concept. Never heard of Luck of the Irish. It's a riot, man. It is funny and gory, done before pandemic, and the real Big Brother had to let the house guests know about the CD. Oh, really? Okay, CVID pandemic. Really, that's interesting. Real World MTV once had a sister show called Road Rules, which I've never seen that. Speaking of hidden cameras, do you remember a Nickelodeon show, What Do You Do, hosted by Mark Summers? I don't. I've never seen that. That might have been a little bit before my time, I would think, but I'm not sure. Jelly Roll versus Michael Myers. Why not? Jelly Roll just wrestled at a fucking SummerSlam. Why not have him fight Michael Myers at this point? With Paul Rudd beat Michael Myers' ass. Fucking Busta Rhymes did. Why not Jelly Roll? Jelly Roll could lose another 300 pounds on Ozempic and get in the ring, brother. Sure do, creator. I also remember Wild and Crazy Kids. Okay, so someone remembers. I think this is the funniest Karate Screamer stream. He really... Eminem versus Jason versus Alien versus Predator Fatal 4-Way as the tagline. Oh my god. And Eminem sings a song about it. I think my dad's going crazy. That would be fucking hysterical. A lot of people in the 1990s grew up watching the original America's AFE. Oh, dude, AFE was great with Bob Saget. And then when I was a kid, it was Tom Bergeron, whatever the fuck his name was. I love the AFE videos. Those are fucking funny. Cass Grande, you're guaranteed a blockbuster. Oh, I don't know about that. I don't think my name has much appeal. Sticky Fingers is definitely more of a marquee name. I don't even know. Do people even remember Sticky Fingers? I don't know. But this was a crazy fucking episode. This went in directions I didn't even think. We could have Travis Scott bitch slap somebody in the main event of WrestleMania, and that happened. Like, you never get. Yeah, that's such a good point, man. They do shit like that. Like, biggest match of the year, John Cena's last WrestleMania, world title match, main event. Get Travis Scott to help decide the finish. Like, why? What the fuck? Logan Paul, Kale. Oh, let's not get crazy now. Let's not get crazy. Logan Paul is gonna fight Michael Myers. No, his dumbass was his brother Jake Paul, who fights all these people that have been retired for years, and he's like the legend killer of boxing. He's like, I'll fight Mike Tyson. He's 60. Why not? Like, buddy, fuck you. I'm glad he got knocked the fuck out. I heard to see the new movie with CM Punk called Night Patrol. Honestly, the trailer didn't do much for me, but like I'd be open to it. I mean, I know he was in the remake of Rabid and he gets killed off. I thought that was pretty good. At least his scene, it was kind of weird seeing him in that. And then he did the one that went direct to Netflix. It was like Girl on the Third Floor or something. And I don't remember that one as much. But like, I don't know. Wrestlers doing horror movies, it could be very good. It could be very ugly. That's a show, dude. I've wanted to do the show on all the wrestlers that were in horror movies one day because I think it would be a really funny discussion. Like I always remember the one with Kurt Angle called Endgame, where he was a cross-dressing serial killer. Like that is one of the fucking funniest, terrible movies I've ever seen. I think it has like a 2 on IMDb. Kurt Angle, Endgame, Perk Angle, brother. So what I learned tonight, oh boy, this is everybody get your thinking caps on because I want to know what someone learned from this episode. Grande's Graveyard. If you post the list of movies coming up in a community post, ask which version so I don't watch another waste like Red Room on Tubi. Okay, I'm happy. I'm so sorry that happened to you. And I'm really sorry because I should have made a community post on it too. I put it on my story on Instagram, but I will do in the future if I make any changes. I'll let you guys know too. So I'm sorry about that. Menshake Paul KO. Yes, Mike Tyson's ass hanging out. Oh God, Red Room, not to be confused with the much better French Red Room. Yes, there's literally I think 8 or 9 movies called Red Room. So I could see how. Let's remember the main event is sponsored by Drumsticks. Yes, that's right. The John Cena Cody Rhodes match was brought to you by Drumsticks ice cream bars. Let's not end the chat so Grande stays on. Oh my God. Yeah, I know. I feel bad. Like I'm about to wrap up here. Pro Wrestlers versus Zombies is fucking awful. Yes, it is. Like, oh my God. WrestleManiac is awful. Monster Brawl is awful. There's so many bad. See No Evil 2 is really bad. I like See No Evil 1. I don't know. Call me crazy. Gregory Darkjoy. I like the first See No Evil. I don't know. Weird taste, but I like that one. Albino Farm with Chris Jericho. Horrible. You throw a rock and you get a bad horror movie starring a wrestler, but I guess that's neither here nor there. Maybe down the road, that'll be a fun show topic because it seems like the chat was booming tonight. So, yeah, I know we got sidetracked a little bit here tonight on Grande's Graveyard, but this was fun to review movies like My Little Eye, movies like, Halloween Resurrection, Kolobos, what have you. I don't think any of them are outstanding, but at the same time, it's no doubt that reality TV, totally made its mark not only on the television circuit, but also in the horror movie realm. So I don't know. For me, I'm a big fan, and I definitely like this concept, and I would be open to doing some of the ones that Tom had mentioned because I'm not familiar with any of those. So I'd be open to giving those a shot because I don't think there's too much to, capitalize on. If My Little Eye is at the top right now, I'm sure it could be caught because it's, not the greatest ending. But next week on Grande's Graveyard, it is going to be on, of course, Thursday the 12th, which is the day before Friday the 13th. Next week on Grande's Graveyard, we will count down my top 10 Friday the 13th franchise kills of the series. I'm very excited to make a top 10 list. I think the only other time I did this was with Sleepaway Camp movies. I did Sleepaway Camp top 10 kills. This Thursday coming up on Grande's Graveyard, we're going to do Friday the 13th since it's the day before. So we're going to be doing that. Excited. Also this Sunday, I'll be posting the Abel Ferrara films that you guys can vote on. So you guys can check those out and vote on which movies you want me and Haddonfield mascot John to review on the following week's show where we discuss Abel Ferrara's director spotlight. And I'm very excited for that. You're awesome, John. Thank you, everybody. This was a really fun time. Cheers, John. See you next time. Thank you guys so much. Awesome show as always. Thank you guys so much. And yeah, like I said, next week I'm on Crater Mania's channel on Wednesday. Also going to be on Navigating the Noise on Tuesday. So I'll post those things if you guys want to watch, and we'll be posting that Abel Ferrara pick'em this Sunday. But that is it for now. That has been the reality horror movie TV special. I'm very happy that you all had a fun time tonight, and we will catch you next time only on the Graveyard. Too sweet. Peace. Good night, everybody. Cheers.